the brave little bird. Once upon a time, in a peaceful meadow surrounded by lush green hills, there lived a tiny bird named Lila. Lila was small, with soft blue feathers and a bright red beak, but she had one thing that made her stand out, an unshakable sense of bravery. Lila loved to watch the other birds fly high above the trees, soaring through the sky. She longed to join them, but there was one problem. Lila was afraid of flying. The thought of soaring so high made her feel nervous, and she would always stay close to the ground, hopping around from branch to branch. One day, while Lila was perched on her favorite tree, she saw a large, dark cloud forming in the distance. The wind began to pick up, and the animals in the meadow started to hurry to their homes. Lila looked up and saw that the other birds were already flying away, preparing for the storm. Suddenly, she heard a small, frantic cry. It was a baby squirrel, stuck at the top of a tall tree, looking terrified as the storm clouds gathered closer. "Help! Help! I'm too scared to climb down," the little squirrel cried. Lila's heart raced. She had never faced a challenge like this before. She looked up at the tall tree, then down at the storm clouds growing darker. The other animals were already running to safety. Lila felt a deep pull in her chest, a sense of responsibility for the little squirrel. "I can do this," Lila whispered to herself, her wings trembling with fear. "I may be small, but I am brave." Without thinking twice, Lila spread her wings and took off into the sky. The wind pushed against her, and the storm clouds swirled in every direction, but Lila didn't stop. She flew through the gusts of wind and rain, her eyes focused on the little squirrel. When she reached the top of the tree, she found the baby squirrel shivering in fear. "Don't worry, little one," Lila said with a soft voice. "I'll help you down." The squirrel looked up at her, wide-eyed. "But how? I can't climb down the tree, and the storm is coming closer." Lila thought for a moment. She flapped her wings, making sure the little squirrel could hold on to her feathers. "Hold on tight to my wings, and I will take you safely down." The squirrel hesitated for a moment, but then, with a deep breath, clung tightly to Lila. With a determined flap of her wings, Lila began the long descent, carefully dodging the strong gusts of wind. It was hard, and the storm kept getting fiercer, but Lila didn't give up. Finally, after what felt like forever, they reached the ground. The baby squirrel hopped off her back, looking up at Lila with eyes full of gratitude. "Thank you, Lila. You're so brave." Lila smiled, her feathers wet from the rain, but her heart was warm. "I may have been afraid at first, but I knew I couldn't leave you up there," she said. The storm passed, and the sun peeked out from behind the clouds. The meadow was calm again, and the animals returned to their homes. Lila had proven to herself that bravery wasn't the absence of fear, but the courage to act even when scared. From that day on, Lila wasn't afraid to fly anymore. She had learned that even the smallest of creatures could do great things when they faced their fears and helped others. And whenever there was a challenge to face, Lila was always the first to take flight, knowing that bravery was a gift she could share with the world.